How much fish is consumed by us in sorry, how much fish is consumed by us in a year? A hard question because so many people eat fish. In a study done in 2020 in the USDA Aquatic Agriculture Agency estimated that the fish industry in the United States alone is about $10.1 billion. This is a lot, but you might be asking if the fish populations are keeping up with this highly demanding harvest. The sad and simple truth is that they're not. In my lab, we look at the decrease in aquatic microorganisms. We deduce it to overfishing. Similarly, in local mesopelagic ocean populations, mesopelagic is looking distance from the shore, has decreased substantially in fish abundances in the past couple of decades. The problem lies with two main areas of overfishing. The way we fish, specifically three types of fishing: bycatching, dragging, and coral reef scoring, and the faulty policies that align with fishing, such as fixed quota fishing, that is still in place today. Before we venture towards causes of overfishing, let's first look at the rising problem that has been blatant in recent years. In a study discussed on Scientific America in 2015, scientists found that from 1970 to 2014, populations of some cultural or commercial fish stocks, such as a group including tuna, mackerel, and bonito, have fallen almost 75%. Importantly, on an article written on Nature.com website 2021, investigating the decrease of larger aquatic animals like 18 oceanic shark and ray species, shark abundances mimicking ray species have declined steeply since 1970, an overall decrease of 84.7%. The ocean is all interconnected. So if a macroorganism like a shark or a ray are being affected, then the rest of the ecosystem down the food web is being affected, like seen in the photo. As the charts on the slide show from a 2021 article published in Nature.com website, fishing pressure has increased in chart B. Living Planet Index on aquatic fish in C and ability to fish sustainably and D have decreased. These are sad but important findings. Now, the next logical step is to look for how we got here, how we decreased the aquatic life so quickly in the past couple decades. The first being the increase in fleets that have been subsidized by the government. The fishing industry every year has quotas that need to be met to get subsidized for outweighing the cost of fishing. There are recorded 2.5 times more fish than is needed to sustain fish populations based on an article written on Sentient Media 2021. To compete, given the lower fish supply that is already there, they start large net fishing or graze fishing, which is a term called bycatching becomes relevant. Bycatching is when a large net is leashed and an unwanted fish is caught with other desirable fish. When they toss it out, it dies from the industry of the net. The second thing that fishers start to do is drag fish or dredging. This is when a machine goes to the bottom of the seafloor and glides across the sand, taking all the remnants, fish on the bottom, and all the intercoastal area remnants for mussels, scallops, and small fish. This can take out an entire ecosystem and respective habitats therein. The last is coral reef scoring, which means fishing through a reef even when it's protected. There's so much temporary demand that many start to fish in a reef for the abundance of species already in the area. This can cause a chain reaction and substantially decrease the number of fish and fish habitats. As well, policies like fixed quota do not resolve this matter of fish population loss, only expedite it. A fixed quota is when there is a fixed limit on the population of fish. It is detrimental since there is not a good way to fully estimate exactly how much fish there are, and the fishermen always seem to go up in the recruitment. Which recruitment line is how fast a fish species reproduces its population size. And this means that the fish species will not grow, just sustain the population temporarily for when a phenomenon might happen and it tanks the supply of the species. It can become threatened. For example, Atlantic cod, which is under a fixed quota ever since the 1990s. Um, in an article, ABC News talks about this in 2021, titled "Cod Fishing Limits to be Slashed Again," regulators say. They had to reduce it from about 10 million pounds to 2.4 million pounds a year, to then 940,000 pounds in 2014. Even with these reductions, it was not helpful at all, since every time they tried to put a quota was overestimated because the fundamental nature of a fixed quota allows the government to do such a thing. Now, the next question is how we can help these fisheries. Well, the first solution lies in not doing these types of fishing. In addition, if it is hard for the fisheries to compete with other fisheries, then maybe it's time to close regulations on how many fisheries there are and to have a better quota plan, like a quota effort or a fixed effort, which looks at the proportion of fish and not just the number of fish caught. It takes a percentage of the population, orients fish harvesting based on the numbers of fish increasing in the population. So in conclusion, some might say that these assertions can only be dealt with by the authorities and the respective fisheries. However, public opinion and the consumers of these fisheries voices are so persuading and so powerful. Many people see the actions going on at harbors and local docks, still provide no feedback. They make their money from the consumer, and the consumer has all the bargaining power in this regard. Speaking out about what has occurred in the last couple of decades is crucial. No to bycatching, no to dragging, no to coral reef fishing. There is a listing and a poll now for a change in policy on the World Health Organization website. You leave your mark in a conversation, and it is compounded tenfold to combat the effects of overfishing and eventually help save fish populations from extinction. Thank you.